Hey guys, I am ForeverAGame. Welcome back to the Moon Family Current Household, the February edition. If you did not know, I'm ForeverAGame and I do these little current households stemming from my sim, Kara Parker Moon Harmon, and we've now made our way to her children who are now having children. It's wild. But we're following our. Is she our first child? Is Summer the oldest? Other than Sally, but Sally was like Kara's stepchild. But like Summer is her oldest, like actual like one of her children. But yes, Summer, who I've dubbed the last great romantic summer moon, she wants to be a professional author. She wants to be a romance author. She's Pisces. She likes kids' music, vegetarian, lobster, thermidor, and lilac. She's a bookworm, loves to swim, over emotional, loves the cold, hopeless, warm, romantic, and friendly. And she ages up in 11 days, apparently. She is unemployed. And, her skills, she has level 7 in cooking, 6 in charisma, 8 in writing. I'm having her, she hasn't written a book yet. She's like 28. Probably like in storyline wise, she's probably like 28. She's never had a job. She has written one book like back in the day, like when they were in college. And it was called Beyond the Meadow. It was a failure. It was like a critical failure. It was about like a Wattpad book. Like let's call a spade, Summer. So, but currently I've had her, hone her craft for the past like 8 years. So when she finally like releases her book, it'll be a bestseller and it'll be like, her moment. But Summer, if you did not know, she used to be in a different current household. Things went wrong, obviously, as I have foresaw, as I prophesized for the past like 2 years. That happened. But Summer was the spiritual twin, quote unquote, of her spiritual twin, Grace Moon, who was adopted the day that Summer was born because I wanted twins. So they were like besties, and then they, after they aged up into young adults, they moved to Simopolis with, Grace's boyfriend and that little group of their little age group. They all moved to Simopolis magically. And Summer started dating Liam Huntley, one of the Huntleys, the bane of our existence, those Huntley people, those Huntley boys. They destroy our lives, but they're always here. But yeah, so she dated Liam Huntley, and then at Grace's destination wedding to Dylan Taylor, um, Summer and Liam got into an argument because Summer's dad, Anoki Moon, did not like Liam because he was like, "You are not going to settle down with the son of the coke addicted model and our college drug dealer. Like, it's not going to happen." And Liam felt like Summer didn't defend him properly. So they got into an argument and he stormed off and like met like one of the hotel workers at a bar and then had a one night stand which resulted in a pregnancy at the destination wedding. And then he came back the next day and groveled to Summer. And then I don't know, like a few weeks later, maybe a month later, that lady came. Her name was Lena Landis. She came to Simopolis and caused mess. And then he had like a secret like pregnant lady in his apartment that nobody was any the wiser about. But then he did not show up to somebody's birthday party, some party. And it was because and so she was concerned. And so she went to his house. Summer went to his house and caught him and Lena Landis with their baby. Ooh. Ooh. And then, I'm not apologizing for this anymore. She hit him. She hit him. Summer hit him because he deserved it. Like, you don't get to have a secret baby and not get hit. Like, Summer has solved several problems with the back of her hand. Like, it's true. But so that was an issue. So while this was happening, her sister was getting like beaten with a fire poker by her crazy Olympic rival. So this is what's been happening. Keep that in mind. So Summer went home, but they didn't know about this. Summer and Dylan and nobody knew that Grace was getting like beaten across town with a fire poker. But so that happened, and Summer went home, and she was so emotional because Summer is over emotional, and because Liam was not the person she had built up in her head that he was. Like, she was not the person he was not the person she had romanticized. Like, he was Liam fucking Huntley. But anyway, so she went home and she and Dylan spoke or whatever. They had been growing closer. And I don't really know why. They just had. And so this culminated. She was very upset, over emotional, and they made out. That was it. That was all that had happened. And then the next morning, they were both just like, okay, this can never be spoken of again. You know, that was a bad idea. So then they were like, where's Grace? Grace never came home. And so Dylan, went to. It was an issue with their old apartment that they somehow miraculously still owned. And so he found Grace in a bloody heap on the floor, having been half beaten to death with a fire poker. And obviously, they took her to the hospital, blah blah blah. She couldn't walk for like a current household. She couldn't walk for like an in-game week. It was so irritating to trying to do. Because like The Sims 3 is not built for your sim to be sitting all the time. It's just not. It's very difficult to do. But so that happened. And while this was happening, Summer was basically raising their child because Dylan still had a full-time job and Grace was at the hospital like all day learning to walk. So Summer was basically raising their child. So during this course of events, Grace spent near day and night at that hospital learning to walk. Grace was determined to go be an Olympian again. Obviously that didn't occur. But so obviously, like, Summer and Dylan were the only people in that house. They talked. They grew close. And one night actually, Grace was just like, I'm gonna go to the hospital. She decided she was gonna do it. So she went to the hospital that day. And she decided that she was going to be late. So she was like, oh, Dylan, I'll just catch an Uber or whatever. And so, but then he was just like, no. And so he drove to the hospital and he caught her and her doctor in an embrace. And it was because she had just taken her first steps, but he was kind of stupid. Dylan was kind of dumb. Dylan was dumb. Dylan's dumb. Like, he's not stupid. There's nothing mentally wrong with him. He's just dumb. He's a himbo. So Dylan jumped to a fair, obviously. And so he drove home in a frantic mess, in an over-emotional mess, reminiscent of how Summer was acting that previous time. And he and Summer, spoke. He mentioned that he thought Grace was having an affair. He was convinced. They were in an embrace. Who embraces their doctor? Their attractive doctor, mind you. It wasn't just some, like, old man. It was an attractive doctor around their age. So that's how that happened. So they, spoke. They grew close. And, one thing led to another. They woohooed. So, but, Summer fell pregnant, because, it only takes once. It only happened the one time, though. She felt so bad afterwards. So that happened. Turns out Grace was also pregnant. So. But, Grace learned to walk. Dylan and Grace somewhat repaired their marriage. And Summer decided, she found out she was pregnant, and Summer decided she was going to lie. Summer was going to lie. She was going to lie and lie and lie until she could lie no longer. Because, like, she didn't want to ruin their marriage. She should have thought about that, but she didn't want to ruin their marriage. So Summer kept her pregnancy a secret for, like, 7-8 months. Like, she just wore baggy clothes. She never spoke to it, never told Dylan, never spoke to it about anybody. But then Grace caught her coming out of the bathroom to go to bed. Grace caught her. And you could see it. You could see, like, Summer's big ass bump. Like, she was 8 months pregnant. Like, eventually you're going to see something. So you could only cover things up for so long. So at the top of the stairs, at that little bathroom upstairs, Grace confronted Summer about her pregnancy or whatever. She was like, what the fuck? And then she pressed Summer. She pressed her. She pressed her and pressed her and pressed her that night. And Summer was just like, it was Liam. It's Liam's. Which was a lie. And like she put on an Oscar-worthy performance. It was like I reacted. It was like that video from Real Housewives of Atlanta where Portia was like, "and scene for the actress." That was how I reacted to Summer's little antics that night. So Summer went on this long spiel about how it was Liam's and blah 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 blah. She put on an Oscar-worthy performance. And so Grace, because Grace is a better sister to Summer than Summer will ever deserve, Grace decided to take it upon herself the next morning to go confront Liam Huntley, who was living across town with Lena Landis and that baby. So, and Grace was like, "You're not going to be a deadbeat on my watch. You're not going to just abandon my sister's child. That's not how this is going to go." So, Grace confronted Liam and dragged Liam back to our home. So, Liam, Grace, Dylan, and Summer all had a confrontation. They were all like standing in a circle. And then Liam kind of yelled at Summer. He didn't yell, he accused. He was like, "Why didn't you tell me blah, 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 and such and such?" He got up in her face. And Summer decided that she was going to, I don't know why Liam thought that she would just stand there with like righteous indignation. Summer will go down to the gutter. Summer will go down to the gutter. She's been there before. She'll go down there when needed. So Summer started to yell at him because how dare he judge her after what he did? Because, you know, Summer still had a picture, like, on her, like, above the wall above her bed. She had a picture of herself, obviously. And then under that, she had a picture of her and Liam from, like, one of the, like, the winter festival or something. She was still very much in love with this man. She felt deeply in love with this man. So it really did piss her off. So she was like, "How dare you, Liam Huntley? How dare you?" And it was like in that moment when they were screaming at each other that I realized how similar of people they were. Like, they're the same person in different fonts. Summer's just more like of a romantic about it, whereas Liam's just kind of very selfish. But like, they're the same person. They do the same things. So, because like him hiding that Lena and the whole baby thing, it was the same thing as her doing it. Like, she hid it too. She hid her pregnancy too. Like, they're the same. They're the same. Like, but I just like Summer better. It's true. So, they yelled and screamed. She pointed at him. She said, "How dare you try and, like, judge me?" And then she looked over. This wasn't even like, I didn't even have her try and do this. It was just, I guess, because Grace was standing next to her and she was irritated. She looked over at Grace. If looks could have killed. And I was like, "Summer, how dare you have the audacity to shoot daggers at Grace when you're pregnant with her husband's child?" Like, my God, I was like, wow, Summer, you know, her heart, her true heart is coming out. Ugh. Like, this whole, like, sunshine and rainbow shit. Summer can go down to the gutter. She didn't hit anybody, though. She almost did. But I didn't have her do that. So, the stress of this, and then Dylan just stood there. He had the nerve to sigh. Dylan had the nerve to sigh. I was like, "How dare you?" But, so this caused Summer to go into labor. And, so she was rushed to the hospital. And, you know, Grace's physical therapist, you know, the only doctor that we had in the world, he delivered Summer's baby. And then the baby had a blood disorder that will never be ever brought up again. But the baby had a blood disorder that could only be inherited through direct, like, parents. Summer did not have this blood disorder. And neither did Liam. But you know who did have this blood disorder? Dylan Taylor. And Grace, when she heard this, because Grace was out there, she was very worried. Because, you know, Summer, that's her person. That's her sister. So, after Liam heard that he could not logically be the father, he stormed out and was like, "Bye. See you later. Who cares?" Like, it was just there so we could provide, some inconvenience to his life because of what he did. So, I would have felt bad if he didn't do all this. I was like, debatably, if we really track it back, Liam cheating on Summer that night with the Cabana girl, we could blame him for the ruination of this family. I mean, if we're really thinking about who's to blame for the ruination of this family, it all traces back to Liam Huntley. It's true. And debatably, if we go even further back, it all traces back to Darian Huntley. If we're being honest, because Liam dated Sally, and then Sally cheated on Liam with Darian. If we really want to go back, we could blame Liam, and if we go back further, we could blame Darian. I always find a way. I'll always find a way to blame Darian Huntley for our misfortunes. Anyways, so Grace, when she heard about this blood disorder thing, it rang a little bell in her mind. She was like, where have I heard about this medical disorder from? And then she went to talk to Dylan, 2 minutes later, and she was like, hey, funny story. I remember where I heard of this medical disorder from. You. And so she confronted Grace while Summer was over here, unconscious in the operating room or whatever. So Grace and Dylan had, their little confrontation. He finally, because he did feel bad, he finally confessed that, it was true. It was true. He was the father of that baby. Grace hit him. She punched him. I'm pretty sure Summer is a slapper. Usually, my Sims, my female Sims, they'll either be a slapper or a puncher. Summer is a slapper and Grace is a puncher. So, I think that usually, defines, I think it says a lot about their personalities. If I choose them to be a slapper or a puncher. So, Grace punched Dylan and then went into labor and gave birth. And so, obviously the medical disorder thing, blah, 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 it was fixed. And we had hood twins. So, Daphne Moon, she is an Aquarius. She likes island life, fish and chips, and the color white, and she's clumsy and easily impressed. So, yeah, we had our hood twins finally. The other one's name is Luna Taylor. It was going to be Diana. That was originally going to be the name, that they had planned from the baby book, because, the Moon, and, Grace's last name wasn't Moon anymore, so it was going to be Diana, who was, the Roman goddess of the moon, as, a little tribute to that, Diana Taylor. But then, Summer gave birth and named her child Daphne, after, her favorite Bridgerton sibling, which also happens to be my favorite Bridgerton sibling, the objective choice, Daphne. I haven't even finished that show. I haven't read one of those books, but, she pissed me off the least. So, Daphne Moon, and I like the name, Daphne from Scooby-Doo. Call me biased, who cares? But, so, after Grace learned that Summer named her child Daphne, Grace was like, this is what we're not going to do. I'm not going to give her, a cute little name that, we're not going to have our children start with the same name. They're actually cute little twins. Well, no. So she was like, what is the first thing she thought of that was moon related? Luna. So we went from Diana Taylor to Luna Taylor. So, a bit of a different vibe, but, the tribute was accomplished. You get the moon parallel thing. So that happened, and outside of, the baby room, the NICU or whatever, wherever the babies go, Grace and Summer had a confrontation. I felt so bad for Grace. Summer just stood there because of The Sims 3. She stood there dead behind the eyes as Grace, poured her heart out and screamed and nearly cried. I don't think I actually had them physically fight, but, it was more just how could you? You're my sister. It was more hurt. She was angry with Dylan. She was betrayed, emotionally betrayed by Summer. That's supposed to be your best friend, your sister, your family. So, that was an issue. So, obviously, following that, after the babies were out of the house, Summer moved back into the old apartment that we miraculously still owned. So she moved back there. And that was when Leah Bourgeois came back to town. And Leah Bourgeois moved in for a minute. And, with her cat. And so Leah was the one that we gave a miscarriage to because I wanted to go bowling. That was Summer's best friend. She dated Grant for a bit in Bridgeport, but Grant cheated on her with Tiara, and that's how Mari Parker came to be. A lot of cheating resulting in babies in this. It's a soap opera. Like, if we're being honest, my Sims 3 gameplay is a soap opera, if we're being honest. So, Leah came back to town, and then Leah and Noah finally got back together. He was the father of the baby that I miscarried because I wanted to go bowling. And pregnant Sims in The Sims 3 can't bowl, so they got back together, and, they rode off into the sunset to his apartment on the other side of town. And then Summer decided, okay, there's nothing left from me here. Because Summer, she was in Simopolis for 8 weeks in game. It was a lot. And she had no friends. Her friends were Grace's friends. Her friends were Grace, Dylan, Noah, I guess, was her friend, Brayden and Darlene, but those were Grace's friends. Summer had never made friends. Summer's closest friends there were Grace, Dylan, and the baby. So Summer finally was like, I really have nothing left. And everybody hates me. So all of her quote-unquote friends, the people she ran in social circles with who were better friends with her sister, they hated her now. Because how dare she? How dare you do this thing? And so Summer literally had nobody. And, she didn't want to bother Leah and Noah with her issues. So she left. And she moved to Mayfield Springs, to the generational family home. This is the home they lived in. This is the lake house from Mayfield Springs that I have droned on and on about ad nauseum. It's the perfect house. It is. It's the perfect house. It's the perfect house. Cara, Jake, Eleanor, and Hadley lived in this house. And this is the town where, Grant slept with, Hadley's boyfriend's mother. And then, Eleanor's jock boyfriend, that caused her to go into her mess era. This is where that all occurred, in the sun-dappled hills and the lakes of Mayfield Springs. So, yeah. This is where they lived. So let's go on a tour. But yeah, this is the fabled house that I talk about all the time from Mayfield Springs that my game could not run. And, when I finally, got a computer and I could run Mayfield Springs, I had the smooth patch. I was listening as I had moved, No, as I had opened the game, I hadn't moved anybody here yet. I just wanted to see if it would run. I went to this house, and I kid you not, this was funny. My Spotify shuffled to, take me home country roads. To the place I belong. And it was this house. I was shaken. But anyways, so this is the house. It's halfway decorated the same as it was. So we have this little entryway. And then, oh yeah, some of the furniture I just sat down and didn't recolor. So we're working on things. So this was the kitchen. And then a baby playmat from Bydebug. This little swing. I think it's the one we used in Midnight Hollow. I think this is that pattern. And then there's this cute little, living room. This is her ballet trophy from when she was a child. It was wild. There were prom, crowns, but I just deleted them. I was like, okay, this would have been gone. Cute little things. All these paintings that Grant or Kristen probably did. So you go up the stairs, and we have the master bedroom. I put down more baby stuff, but this is, Summer's room isn't fully decorated, but, the aesthetic going for this house is going to be, those dreamy pastel kind of things, the blues, and the pinks, and the purples. Very soft, romantic. So that's how that's going to go. The only things that are really recolored are the rug, the bed, and the baby bed. So, yeah. And then, I forgot to bring all of Summer's things from Simopolis when I saved her. I didn't save her with any of those things in her inventory. So, I'm gonna have to go back and, like get the color swatches for all those things and just bring them here. I don't think she had really anything, to be honest, other than that book, that little Wattpad ass book that she had made. But other than that, not really. So we have our little living room. We have our little balcony. This was Hadley's room. Most of it's the same. I just deleted all, like, the pictures of, like, Hadley at prom, you know, because they were here. Then we went to Eleanor's room. This was Eleanor's room. Nothing changed other than taking away all of, you know, Eleanor's things. Oh, this may have been a thing. And then this was Grant's room. He had that picture of Leona up for, like, the whole time. I had to go in and delete those things. Like, who cares? And then outside, Summer got a new car. It's cute. So Summer got the 1972 Land Rover Series 3. I don't know. I just thought it was cute. I was like, oh, Summer with her cute little, you know, this is a bit more all-terrain. So something bigger than, like, I think she had a BMW. Something to that extent. And, you know, debatably, it was safer. Debatably it's not, because it doesn't have any back seats, but we're pretending that it does. We're pretending that it does, because I wanted this little Jeep thing. And then we have this cute little, like, I don't know, bar area. Where's the boat? Where's the boat? Where's the boat? Where's the boat? We had a boat. We had the boat. Where's the boat? Where's the boat? Motherload. We had a boat. I sat the boat down. It was this color boat. Thank you. If that boat disappears, I'm going to be irritated. Because maybe I didn't buy the boat. Make preferred boat. So, this is our boat. Yeah. So, Summer, like, currently her outfit, why don't you, like, go over here, and then we can look at your outfit. I dubbed her little, this is her, because Summer's dramatic. This is Summer's, oh my god, go down. This is Summer's, I don't know, the side ponytail really just sold it for me. This is Summer's single mom who works 2 jobs, who loves her kids and never stops, with gentle hands and the heart of a fighter. I'm a survivor era. So, yeah, her little side ponytail, her little boots, her little outdoorsy boots, her jeans. Like, this is really Summer's little, you know, I'm a survivor era. You know, she's going to pick up herself by her bootstraps and provide for her child because she's a survivor. Meanwhile, she's living in a big-ass lake house on her family's dime. So, like, Summer, I cackled when I thought of that. I was like, wow, Summer really thinks she's a survivor. But it's like, no, sweetheart, you're a menace. But, like, I love her. She's still my favorite child. That's why I gave her all this mess. I mean, she has done some downright villainous thing. Not downright. Like, unquestionably villainous, heinous things. But, like, I love her. But I love her. I smile. I smile every time I think of Summer Moon. Our first child, my favorite child. I know you're not supposed to pick a favorite, but this is mine. So, yeah. I think, though, at some point, I think for now, she's gonna, you know, work on her business. You know, her books. She's gonna write a book. Oh my god, Sims 3, don't piss me off. She's gonna work on her book. She may go on a few, like, little comedically terrible rom-com dates. And then, you know, she's gonna find herself a man. And, ooh, where's that house? Where is it? Where's that stupid house? Somewhere. Somewhere. Hold on. I can find it. Somewhere. Is it this one? Is it this one? It may be this one. It may be that one. It's near the water. Oh. Is this a house? No, it's not this one. So it was probably that one with the barn or whatever. Somewhere, you know, there may live, you know, a lumberjack fisherman outdoorsman who maybe the Hallmark, you know, like a Hallmark movie. She leaves the big city and she falls in love with like the lumberjack. And he shows her the true meaning of love. That may be how Summer's life gets to unfold. But, you know, we'll meet him probably the next time that we see her, which will probably be in the late summer. You know, summer for summer. But I think that might be all for now. Next month, I think we're due a trip to the Harmons. Not Eleanor, Hadley. We're due a trip to Hadley, the mother of this era. I'm like, ugh. Her and Cassie, they're such a dynamic duo, really, to be honest. And Hadley's getting closer and closer to her own little save file. She's getting closer and closer to getting her new last name. So, that's going to be all for now. And I'll see you guys next month. Bye!